Alright guys, welcome to another MLB The Show 21 stream here on Twitch. I'm NextJGGen24, and today I'm going to force myself to finish up on some stuff that I haven't completed, specifically what you're looking at right now, which is the NL West Team Affinity that I have yet to complete. I have all the other ones done, but I do not have the NL West. And so that's what we're going to be doing today. What my plan for that is, we are going to do the conquest map. So that should take us a good while. And then after the conquest map, what I plan on doing is putting together a lineup of flashback and legends from the NL West. So Padres, Dodgers, Giants, Diamondbacks, and Rockies. I'm going to put together a lineup. In fact, I may already have a lineup, actually. Let's see. Do I already have a lineup for this? Ah, I do. Okay, well, good for me then. You know, I kind of forgot that I already did this, but I'll take it. So at some point I'll play with this lineup, but I'm not going to do it for the West or for the conquest map. No, I want my very best to be there. So what do I got to do? I just need to acquire some fans. It looks like the Padres would be first up for me, so that's where I'll head, is towards the Padres. But first, I'm just going to collect as many territories as I can before I go ahead and attack the Padres. Now, you guys may be wondering why it is that Mr. J-Rod, what's up? How you doing? You guys may be wondering why it took me so long to finally do a stream. Guys, look, this is the part of MLB The Show 21, or MLB The Show in general, where the content is really going to be lackluster. Unfortunately, we're in the postseason, so we're down to the two teams, the Astros and the Braves in the World Series, which I'll talk about in a minute. But unfortunately, MLB The Show has not provided much content since, and I was very hopeful that today they would have provided some content. Like, I don't know, maybe the Championship Series program. You know, we have the wild card program. We did that no problem. Those were only 2 games. We had the division program, which that was more than enough. But apparently on Monday, before the World Series, we don't get a Championship Series program. That is rather disappointing. You know, and especially when we're now at a time where a lot of people are not really going to be playing it. This is the time for MLB The Show to start pumping out new content. You know, you can do whatever you want with the event. I'm not bothering with it personally, because I don't think it's worth my time. But it can't just be online that we're talking about here. There's got to be content for offline as well. That's what people want to play. I don't care if it's the Extreme program. I don't care if it's the All-Time program. I don't care if it's a new Team Affinity program. Just give us something. Give us something so that we have stuff to do. I have stuff to stream. That's ultimately why I couldn't stream the Thursday and Friday. I wish I could have, but I couldn't. Not if there was nothing new. And guys, look, I know a lot of people would say, why don't you go online? Listen, I get easily frustrated in ranked seasons. It's going to cost me a fortune to do the Battle Royale program. And like I said, the event is not worth my time. It's personally, I don't think it's worthy of anyone's time. So, you know, like, this is the time for MLB, for San Diego Studios to start giving us new content. Right now, the game is in a very bad state, and it needs to have new stuff. Otherwise, you're going to lose interest even before the World Series is over. And that's not a good thing if you're MLB or San Diego Studios. So I sincerely hope there's more content coming along. But the last update that I've seen from the calendar was that tomorrow we're getting a new event program, which this is probably going to be the World Series program. So, and speaking of the World Series, we now have our two teams. We have the Houston Astros and we have the Atlanta Braves. So, I'm going to give my perspective from, like, a baseball fan, and then I'll give my perspective from a Mets fan, because they're totally different perspectives. Alright? In my opinion, this World Series is going to be good. I think that Atlanta is a better team than a lot of people imagined. I mean, this was a team that I think a lot of people counted out before the All-Star game because they lost Ronald Acuna Jr. And here they are, and they made great moves. Yes, you can argue that the division they were in was weak, especially the New York Mets and the Philadelphia Phillies, who couldn't hold on to their leads towards the end of the season and allowed the Braves to get into that position. So you can make that argument. But at the end of the day, Atlanta still had to overcome a lot. And I'm sure Atlanta fans will tell you that they don't exactly have the rotation that screams this team is going to win the World Series. You know, it's one that can take you far, but as far as, you know, is this comparable to Jacob deGrom or Noah Syndergaard? And I'm using the Mets because they have one of the better rotations on paper. On paper, that's. But is it exactly going to strike fear into anyone's eyes? I think Charlie Morton could, but as for the rest of the lineup, I don't think so. Or the rest of the rotation, I don't think so. And the bullpen doesn't exactly have any star-studded guys that you could point to and say, yeah, they're the ones that we're going to bring in late in the game and they're going to close out the door. You might be able to get a few innings out of Luke Jackson, and you might need that against Yordan Alvarez and Yuri Gurriel. But you need so much more than that. You really do. So, but keeping that all in mind, the Atlanta Braves are in the World Series. And as a baseball fan, I'm saying good for them. And I'm also saying good for the Houston Astros as well. Before anyone hates on me, let me explain, okay? The simple fact of the matter is that the Houston Astros, they lost a lot of talent. They don't have Zach Greinke. They don't have George Springer. Those were some of their top guys, and yet they are still in the World Series. Not a lot of teams can say that they lose a top guy and still make it to the World Series. Think whatever you want about 2017, about 2019, but this year, the Astros were simply on fire. And I say kudos to them. They are exactly the team to represent them or represent the American League in the World Series. As for the as for the teams that lost, as for the Red Sox, I mean, look, the Red Sox were not exactly a lot. They were not the team that everyone was expecting to be in the championship series for the American League. Not a lot of people expected that. I'm sure a lot of people didn't think they would get past the Yankees in the wild card game. They did. I bet not a lot of people expected the Red Sox to get past the Tampa Bay Rays. They did. It just goes to show you guys that the postseason is a totally different matter. It's a whole new season. You just get hot at the right time, and all of a sudden, you're on a run towards the World Series. So, and same thing with the Atlanta Braves as well. They got hot towards the end of the season, and now they're in the World Series. So, I say kudos to Boston for giving it a ride and for going a lot further than I think a lot of people did. For the Dodgers, yeah, that's disappointing. That is disappointing. But let's be honest here. It was going to be tough for the for the Los Angeles Dodgers to come back from down 3-1 in the series. The fact of the matter is they blew it in Atlanta. They needed to take one game there in order to have a chance. Honestly, as soon as they lost to Atlanta, both times in Atlanta, I said there's no way that they're going to win. Because if Atlanta steals one game in Los Angeles, they're screwed. And sure enough, they take one game in Atlanta, or they take one game in Los Angeles, they go back to Atlanta, and Atlanta's just unbelievable. Trust me, guys, I was there this past season. I was at Truist Park. It's an atmosphere unlike any other. I don't think anything will ever come close to what Citi Field was in 2015. But what the Atlanta Braves have with their fans right now is unbelievable. So, you know, LA, plain and simple, they blew it. They were in a tough position, and unfortunately, lightning cannot strike twice, guys. It was pretty impressive for the Dodgers to come back against the Atlanta Braves last year, 3-1. But they weren't going to do it twice. That's just difficult. So, you know, to the Dodgers, yes, that's disappointing. Very, very disappointing. What's up, Reverse? How you doing? You streaming tonight, or are you doing Crash Bandicoot again? What was it? Panda Death or something like that? Like, basically you have to do one single run without dying. Are you still doing that, or did you give up on that? Because look, dude, I can tell you, I played that game, and even with just by dying in itself, you never give up. Okay, so you're gonna continue on. All right, man. Best of luck. But I can tell you, you're gonna end up pulling your hair out. By the way, guys, go check out my buddy Reverse Gamer here. He streams a lot of different games, and you just heard me ask him about Crash Bandicoot, the Insane Trilogy, might I add. So go check it out. And the cool thing with him, the cool thing about him, is he plays like this. I can't even do that. I believe me, I can't do this. And I'm not even going to attempt to try. So, Reverse, kudos to you for coming up with such a unique way to play. I think it's really cool. So go check out my buddy Reverse Gamer. He really does a lot of amazing content, and he's entertaining. So please go check him out. But back on baseball here for a second. Okay, let's get back to baseball here. By the way, strike 3, sit down. I just took the San Diego Padres stronghold. Complete game with Shohei Ohtani. Boom. 7 strikeouts too. Nice. Yeah, no problem. My stream's going all right. I just started it like 15 minutes ago. So the fact that we're already off to a good start by capturing this stronghold is pretty good. Where am I heading next? I am likely going to head towards Colorado. Okay, but let me just get back to baseball for a second here, because this is important. So, with everything that I have said about the Atlanta Braves and the Houston Astros, I think it should come no surprise to anyone that the team that I'm going to be rooting for is Houston. All right? And this is the reason why. I cannot stand to see a division rival of the New York Mets win a World Series. Just think about this for a second, guys. Okay, since 2000, what has happened? The Florida Marlins, now Miami Marlins, won the World Series in 2003. The Philadelphia Phillies won the World Series in 2008 and was in the 2009 World Series. The Washington Nationals won the 2019 World Series. So, if Atlanta wins this World Series, that means that over the last 2 decades, the only team to not win a single World Series is the New York Mets. And you have to consider the fact that that's pretty disappointing, especially since the Mets since 2000 have been in the World Series twice, and they lost both times. And I'm not even talking about 2006, where they definitely should have gone to the World Series, and they would have won that too. They would have won it. But that's simply just woulda, coulda, shoulda. I'm talking about the fact that they lost to the Yankees in 2000 and they lost to the Kansas City Royals in 2015. I cannot stand to see another National League East team win another World Series. And actually, if you even want to go further back, you could go all the way to 1996. And every team, if you go back that far, every team except the New York Mets has won at least one World Series. If you to say that is eating me alive as a New York Mets fan would be an understatement. It bothers the living hell out of me that's what it is. And this was a team that at one point, guys, had Mike Piazza, Tom Glavine, Al Leiter, freaking John Franco, Edgardo Alfonso. This was you think about that team in the late 90s, early 2000s, and they didn't win a goddamn World Series? And that's all thanks to the Atlanta Braves and the New York Yankees. So it is frustrating, and I do not want to see the Atlanta Braves win another World Series. As much as I like Freddie Freeman, because he is a hell of a guy, he's got a great personality, and if he were on any other team, I would like him as a player. But because he's on the Atlanta Braves, I cannot root for him to get a World Series. I'm sorry, he's going to have to go somewhere else if he wants me to cheer for him in the World Series. It's as simple as that. As simple as that. I don't care what the Houston Astros do. I don't care if they freaking bang each player bangs a trash can to let them know what the pitch is throwing. I don't care. Just Houston, beat the Atlanta Braves, please. Beat them.
The first baseman, CJ.
So my fandom is going to be towards Houston for this World Series. I will not cheer on Atlanta. I just won't do it. Also, I know I was praising the atmosphere of Truist Park and the fans and everything, but I really find them obnoxious. I'm sure they're great people, but that whole tomahawk chant that they do, you know, the whole oh, that is annoying as hell. That really is. I cannot stand it. You know, that's the Braves thing, fine, but I'm just saying that it bothers me. So, Atlanta Braves, you've got something here, but I'm not rooting for you. I'm going to root for the Astros. You know? And believe me, I'm as much as a crazy fan as I am right now. If the Atlanta Braves win the World Series, I can assure you I will come on here. Not immediately after, whenever I stream, of course. But I will, in the next stream, following the end of the World Series, if it's the Atlanta Braves that come out on top, I will come on here, and I will say, congratulations to the Atlanta Braves. They deserve it. Okay? I can assure you that will happen. But first, Atlanta must win. So I hope I didn't just jinx the Houston Astros, because it seems like that I have a very good tendency of jinxing teams. You know, I go back to 2019. I told a coworker of mine I didn't think the Washington Nationals were going to win the World Series. What the fuck do? They win the goddamn World Series. And I said the same thing in 2012, but this time with the New York Giants. I did not think they were going to get past Atlanta. I didn't think they were going to get past Green Bay. I didn't think they were going to get past the 49ers, and I sure as hell did not have them overcoming Tom Brady and the Patriots for a second time in the Super Bowl. So if you want your betting odds, well, I mean, I don't want to encourage gambling, but you may want to put some money on the Houston Astros, because or not on the Astros, I'm sorry, on the Atlanta Braves, because I'm sure I just jinxed the Houston Astros. So somebody can clip this and be like, you know, oh, here's the moment where the Houston Astros lost the World Series because of next JG Gen 24 jinxing them. Go ahead. It always happens. So put your bets down, but do so responsibly, please. If you have a gambling addiction, please go seek help. Do not gamble everything on the Atlanta Braves. I hope I'm right, and I hope that the Houston Astros win so that I don't have to see the Atlanta Braves win it, but we'll see what happens. We will see what happens. Okay, whew, that was a lot of talking, and in the process I gave up a home run and a single, so this is... I really haven't been paying attention to the game. I've been so focused on the World Series and everything that I wasn't even really paying attention, and I just walked this batter. God damn you, Rob, man. Can you okay, please? Strike three, sit down. Okay. Whew. Alright. So, just a couple more updates here, because I love to do updates. So you guys may be wondering why I was gone. I know I said I took a hiatus because there was no content in MLB The Show, and yes, that's true, but I was also trying to seek other games to play. You know, I was seeking, I needed something new. I play MLB The Show every day for 3 hours at the very least during the weekdays, so that's 15 hours a week that I'm playing this game. Not to mention what I do on the weekends. But either way, I was getting tired and I wanted something new. So I did a little searching. You know, not online searching. I searched through the PlayStation Store to see what kind of games would intrigue me. And I came across this, how do I call it? A simulation game or whatever? I guess. Either way, whatever type of game it is, the game is called YouTuber's Life 2. Now, this piqued my interest because, one, I am a YouTuber. I mean, aside from Twitch, I also have a YouTube channel that I upload all these streams to. If you haven't checked it out yet, you know, be sure to check it out. Maybe you're already checking it out, so I hope you subscribe. Sorry. So anyway, the game intrigued me, or it caught my attention, and I think it was like 30-40 bucks that I spent on it to try to buy it. So I bought it, and let me tell you guys, I've been having a blast with it. Like, I did not think it would be this great, but I'm having so much fun. I'm having so much fun with it. I think it's a very underrated game, but I also think it's a game that, you know, if you're not the type of person that likes those kinds of games, then I don't recommend you get it. But if you're looking for something new and something cheap, you don't want to splash 50 or 60 bucks on it, or 70, because that's what it seems nowadays to be for these new games. Alright, GG's to the Rockies. I can't believe I lost that, but that is All-Star. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. But anyway, basically you are a YouTube streamer, or you're a YouTube content creator, and you beat a game and you're invited to this city known as YouTube City. Why they would call the game YouTube streamers, or why they would feature YouTube in the game name, yet when it comes to building the city, they call it a different name, I don't know. But with that aside, you are now in YouTube City, and you have to make a name by you have to make a name for yourself by creating videos. I mean, obviously they shorten the whole process for you. Obviously, in real life YouTube, it's a totally different scenario. But you know, you put together videos, gameplay, live streams, you know, whatever, first impressions, unboxings, whatever you want. And you have to do it based on what the trends are. So you got to pay attention to what the trends are, and then that's how you can build and grow your channel. And the ultimate goal of this is to become the #1 YouTuber in the city. And you can do all kinds of interviews or all kinds of you can do all kinds of videos. You know, I mentioned gameplays and first impressions, live streams. Well, you could do more. You could do just vlogs. You can do interviews. You can even live stream yourself at certain events. And you're going to meet some really famous YouTubers along the way. I won't say who, but I will say that they are some famous YouTubers. So take advantage of whenever you get an opportunity with them. And all the while, too, apparently there's this hacker group that is trying to destroy YouTube City. And your job is to stop them. I don't know how you do that, because I haven't gotten there yet. But basically, it's a problem, and you need to be able to deal with it. So that's your two goals right there. You gotta become the #1 YouTuber in YouTube City, and you have to stop hackers from destroying the city. Sounds like a really awesome game. Believe me, guys, when I get the chance, I will. Because I do want to show it to you guys. I'm having a blast with it. I think it's a very underrated game, and I think a lot of people would have a lot of fun with it. Especially if you're bored and looking for something different. I think this is pretty different. But I'll show you guys some gameplay video of it, because I think it's important. Likely not going to be live stream. Maybe I'll do some video editing myself. I mean, I got to figure that out. Ooh, Tyler O'Neill. Holy crap. But either way, I think it's a great video game, and I would certainly encourage you guys, if you're looking for something new, go and check it out. I think it's a lot of fun. What else? Yeah, so that's it. YouTuber's Life 2, or... Actually, I should get the name of this right. Yeah, it's YouTuber's Life 2. So, go check it out. I think it's a great game. And I think it's very undervalued for how much fun it is. So, that's the first thing. Okay? Second thing, and you guys may have seen this on Twitter, when I was in Talladega, I decided to give a crack at the NASCAR 21 Ignition gameplay HUD that was set up. I mean, before Talladega, I had no intention of buying the game, because I saw it as yet another NASCAR video game. I thought it was going to be a lot like Heat Evolution, where they would just... The controls would be unbearable. It would be very hard to play, and it wouldn't be fun. But when I gave it a shot at Talladega, I had fun with it. And not only that, but I promoted it on Twitter, then they promoted it. Guys, I'm almost up to 20,000 views on that tweet. Who's the... No, actually leave Ohtani there. Leaving Ohtani in there in case he gets a home run here. So after I did that, and after I got so many people asking me questions and wanting to know more about the game, I decided to buy the game, and the game is coming out at midnight tonight. You guys will not see a second stream from me. You know, as much as I want to stream it launch day, I unfortunately have to say no, because I do have to work in the morning, and I cannot be tired in the morning. So there will be no stream of NASCAR 21 tonight. It will happen tomorrow. And I have my NASCAR 21 ignition shirt over here. So I will be wearing it. I will be showcasing it, and I am gonna try and give my overall view of the game. What I'm looking for. A lot of people were saying that driver assist could not be turned off. I'm a guy that likes no driver assist, or I've gotten used to playing with no driver assist. I understand for new players, it's a necessity, but once you get done playing this game, or once you play this game after a while, you gotta turn those off. You have to. I mean, if you're having trouble at a certain track, practice. Race now. Do whatever. But ultimately, those driver assists have to come off. So I sincerely hope that there is an option to turn it off, but we'll see what happens. Strike 3, sit down, by the way. I like that they added the paint booth back. You know, but my earlier criticism of it on Twitter, or maybe I criticized it here on Twitch, was that we were very limited in what options we could choose. Like, basically, we were limited to sponsors for Joe Gibbs Racing and Toyota. And it's like, those sponsors are cool and everything. I don't mind those, but I would like more variety. There's more than just M&M's and Toyota and Joe Gibbs Racing and Monster Energy in there. There's Napa. There's Hendrick Cars. There's Ally. There's Shell Pennzoil. I mean, Brad, unfortunately, because alcohol cannot be advertising in video games, unfortunately, Miller Lite is not in the game. It hasn't been for a while. Even going back to the days when Rusty Wallace drove the Miller Lite car in NASCAR. It's never been in video games as far as I can remember. And the same thing with Budweiser, but Budweiser, I really have not seen Budweiser in the video game for a long, long time. So, but I'm just saying, like, sponsors like Shell Pennzoil, Hendrick Cars, Napa, any of those other sponsors that I mentioned, like, why couldn't they be in the game? So we'll see what happens. Maybe tomorrow they'll have a patch that adds a lot more sponsors. You know, I think it would be cool, personally, if we could get a Twitch sponsor in there. You know, I'm gonna be streaming it for you guys. I'm gonna be doing that tomorrow. Don't you think I want to be able to promote my channel? Don't you think I want to be able to promote that I'm a Twitch streamer to other competitors that I race against? Yeah, of course I do. So, I mean, obviously I could do the whole thing myself, but with just lettering, but to have that Twitch symbol or Twitch logo in there and on the hood of my car or on the side, you know, that would be very cool. I would love to be able to do that, but I doubt it's going to be in there. So I'm just going to have to settle for creating my own Twitch paint scheme with my strikeout call of strike 3, sit down. Another thing that I have my concerns about, it looks really well done. And you say that's not a criticism. I know. What is it looks a little too well done. Like almost like you could take a freaking, you could run over the cars with a freaking monster truck, and it wouldn't look like it had a scratch on it. Now, yes, obviously at some point if you get in wrecks and everything, I'm sure there's going to be some kind of damage, but it's not enough to be able to justify having little to no visual damage. It's got to look realistic, because if a driver goes head on into a wall, their hood's going to be popped up. It's going to go from this to this, from that to that. And if it doesn't do that in the game, that's not really realistic. That's almost like begging me to go ahead and smash my car into the wall and I won't even get a scratch. It's not realistic, so it doesn't seem like a very negative criticism, or it doesn't seem like a negative thing to have in a game, but believe me, for a devout NASCAR guy, I do want to see some cars get damaged. And for other people, that's all they play the game for. They just want to cause wrecks. As much as I find those racers annoying, at the end of the day, they are looking to create wrecks. They're looking to damage cars. It's not going to look like much if my car comes across and the worst thing that happens to it, even if the guy hit me head on, was I get a tire rub on the side of my car, and that's it. Or a tire mark on the side of my car. That's unrealistic. So I understand the presentation is important, but you also want to be realistic. So I hope we'll see what happens. I'm sure I'm going to wreck plenty tomorrow. So we'll see what happens with that. I also need to see the career mode. I do. I at this point, I think that's what a lot of people drive or buy the game for, aside from online racing. You know, is this idea that you can build yourself up as a race car driver. Well, here's the problem. You immediately start in the Cup Series. And remember what I said about it being very similar to, my concern being that it's very similar to NASCAR Heat Evolution? Well, here you go. NASCAR Heat Evolution was the same way. You started in Cup after you ran like a race or two, and unfortunately you were not good at the beginning. Which, I mean, come on, let's be honest, you're not going to be good when you first start out. But to basically be 2 laps down and almost lucky to be on the lead lap at all, that's just unrealistic to me. Like, you should be able to beat other guys, you know? You should be able to. And if, other AI drivers. But my concern is that with steering assist staying on and the career mode starting you right in Cup, I think we're going to have a repeat of NASCAR Heat Evolution. And I pray to God that I am going to be wrong. I want this to be one of the most fun career modes that I've ever seen. But ultimately, that's not going to happen if you're struggling early on. No matter how low you bump the difficulty, if you put it on easy and you still can't win races, that's a problem. So we'll see what happens tomorrow. But ultimately, those are my concerns. You know, can we turn off steering assists? The paint booth, are we going to have more options than what we have? Or what we saw? You know, the career mode, what is that going to look like?
Your attention, please. Pitching to the Rockies. Number 15. Fly ball. 1-0. Tapia.
So, it's all coming tomorrow, 6 p.m. Eastern. You know, be sure to check this out. I'll tweet about it on Twitter. Hopefully NASCAR Ignition will promote me, because I mean, I was able to get them a lot of likes and a lot of views. So I hope that they do promote me. But that's all, that excitement is coming tomorrow. Kind of like a teaser, if you will.
Now batting. Number 1.
And since I am talking about NASCAR, I might as well talk about what happened this weekend at Kansas. A very fitting victory for Kyle, not just for Kyle Larson, but for Hendrick Motorsports in general. Basically, guys, Kyle Larson's paint scheme is a tribute to Ricky Hendrick. Ricky Hendrick was Rick Hendrick's son, and Rick Hendrick is the owner of Hendrick Motorsports, one of the top Chevy team and one of the top teams in NASCAR. And unfortunately, his son Ricky, as well as a few other family members, as well as Hendrick Motorsports employees, all perished in a plane crash in 2004. I mean, you talk about a guy that went through so much travesty or tragedy. That this is by far like such very horrible, really, if you think about it. And I know like some people can relate to that because of Kobe. So I certainly hope that a lot of Kobe fans can relate to what happened with Ricky Hendrick, Randy Dorton, John Hendrick, Rick Hendrick's nieces, pilot for Tony Stewart, who's also a Cup owner. But I really do hope that you guys understand what it really meant for Hendrick, not just Hendrick Motorsports, but for Kyle Larson to win in that paint scheme, because Ricky, before he died, did pick up a NASCAR win in what was then known as the Craftsman Truck Series. Obviously, it's different name now. I think it's the Gander Outdoors RV Truck Series now. I don't know. I don't know why they changed it from Craftsman. I personally like the sponsor, but whatever. That's a topic for a different discussion. So it was very fitting that in Ricky Hendrick's paint scheme, you know, Kyle Larson goes out there and he wins the race. And he didn't even need to, either. He didn't need to. He was already locked into the championship 4. But he went out there and he dominated. And I'll talk about that in a second, because I think that's important too. So obviously a great day for Kyle Larson to be able to win. You know, win in the paint scheme for Hendrick Motorsports, win at the track where Ricky Hendrick got his first win in that scheme, there's obviously symbolism here. There's a lot of symbolism, and that showed. That showed on Sunday. With that being said, I also have to turn to second place, which was Kyle Larson's teammate, Chase Elliott. Chase Elliott is the defending NASCAR Cup champion, and he could have used that win to be able to lock himself into the next round. He has a lot of points, but at the same time, a win and you're in. You win one of these races, you're moving on to the championship. And that's the best way to be able to guarantee that, is to win the race. So, Chase Elliott, he gave it his shot. There was, with 10 laps to go, Chase Elliott was 1.4 seconds behind Kyle Larson. And he shrunk that lead down to 0.6 of a second in a matter of 3 or 4 laps. He was coming. But he just ended up scraping the wall one too many times. And then finally, Alan Gustafson, being the smart crew chief that he is, says to Chase, listen, as much as you want to go for the win, we have to think about finishing second here. If he had cut a tire, and if he had to come down pit road, he was going to lose 20 spots. And those 20 spots would put him in a position where he would really have to race at Martinsville in order to make his way into the championship. So he was very smart. Chase Elliott was very smart. He recognized he was in a good position to earn some points. Now he's 33 points above the cut line, which basically means if he can finish 15th even without stage points, he wins. He goes on to the championship. And that's all you need to do. So smart on Chase Elliott's part, smart on Alan Gustafson's part, to recognize that the situation did not call for them to push for the win. They got as close as they could, but ultimately the risk was not worth it, and they took the second place finish. That's a sign of a true champion, knowing that if you're in a good position, you need to be able to keep that position. It's not all about getting wins. Although Phoenix, it's all about the win. Because these guys that are going to be, these 4 drivers that are going to be competing for that championship, yeah, they're going to be out front. So you're basically going to have to win in order to win the championship. Since NASCAR has implemented this playoff format, every champion has won the final race. And that's the way it should be. But when it comes to getting on to the next round, it's all about being smart and having good finishes. One bad finish could really ruin your playoffs and put you in a position where it's basically win, you have to win, or you're eliminated. So, Chase Elliott, he's going to go into Martinsville with a 33-point lead. He usually runs well at Martinsville. In fact, last year, he won at Martinsville in order to win the on his way to winning the championship. But that being said, if you're Chase Elliott, you don't take any chances. If you could go for the win, that'd be great. But if you're in a position where you need to think about your point standings, then be smart and not push the issue. If he locks himself in at some point during the race that allows him to be able to go for that championship, then at that point, if he's locked in, then you go for it. Because at that point, it doesn't matter. But until you get to that point, you race smart if you're Chase Elliott. Everyone else, you're racing for the win. Well, actually, there are two spots that can be earned via points. But for guys that had a rough weekend at Kansas or at Texas last week, like Ryan Blaney and Joey Logano, they basically have to win.
Your attention, please.
Right now, the people that are in the good so far, or they're in a very comfortable position, is Kyle Larson and Chase Elliott. Everyone else, they would be biting their nails right now. So, I don't have any predictions in terms of who's going to come away with the win. You can certainly expect guys like Martin Truex Jr., who has won the he won the race earlier this year, and he also won at Martinsville in 2020, the spring race. Oh, excuse me. And I got no one up.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention, please. Now,
unfortunately, I have to warm him up because I didn't warm him up. Right? Martin Truex Jr. seems like a good bet. Joey Logano usually runs up front at Martinsville. And, you know, guys, he's going to be aggressive. He knows that the only way that he wins, or the only way he moves on to the championship, is if he wins. So, I would definitely keep my eye out for Truex. I'd keep my eye out for Logano, and I'd also keep my eye out for Denny Hamlin. Denny Hamlin has owned this racetrack in the past. Martinsville is one of his favorite racetracks to go to. So do not be surprised if Denny Hamlin ends up, if he ends up near the front and he wants to go for it too. Because he will. This is Denny Hamlin last year came also close to a championship. He had a lot of wins and yet fell short in the championship round. So I'm sure Denny's hungry. I'm sure Joey is hungry. I'm sure that Truex is hungry. Once you get a taste of that championship, you're going to want more of it. So that's going to be the case for for Logano and for Truex, since they're both previous champions. Ironically, they both have a history with each other, so it'll be interesting to say the least. I don't know if Martin needs to win as badly as Joey Logano does. But I do know if it comes down to those two, given their history, it would not surprise me if we see some drama. It would not surprise me if we see them, because Truex probably doesn't want to deal with Logano at Phoenix. I mean, that guy blocks. That's what Joey is good at. He blocks. And if he gets out front, it's going to be very difficult to pass him. So, why not eliminate that person, or why not eliminate that kind of a driver from contention? I'm not saying that Truex should go out there and purposely wreck Logano in order to make it to the next round. But, you know, given their history, I would not be surprised if we see some doors banging and some bumpers missing. And we can't also forget about the non-playoff drivers. Those are really the X factors. And they certainly were X factors back in 2014. You know, that was the year that I thought Jeff Gordon was going to win the championship. Unfortunately, his teammate Dale Earnhardt Jr. at the time, he won at Martinsville even though Gordon was second. And I'm not saying that Earnhardt should have pulled over for Jeff and let him win at Martinsville, because Gordon knew how to win at Martinsville. He's done it. He's done it a lot. I forget how many times exactly, but he's won at Martinsville multiple times. So you don't want to hand stuff to a teammate. But if they're going to earn it, and if they're in a position where they have to win to advance, you know, then you might want to take that into consideration. And that's exactly, actually, that was the kind of talk that was heard during the race. You know, they were saying to Larson, listen, if Chase gets to you, or no, I'm sorry, they were saying this to Byron. Byron was saying this, but this wasn't for the win. This was just for a stage win. They were saying to Byron, you know, Chase Elliott's teammate, listen, if Chase gets to you, please do not run him hard. You know, or do not race him hard. Let him pick up this stage win, because, again, they're thinking points. Now, that didn't come to fruition because Byron had like a 4.5 second lead over Chase. There was no way Chase was going to get to Byron. And I'm just saying, you know, that's those kinds of team orders. They happen. I mean, you can judge whether it's right or wrong to do that, but at the end of the day, it's team orders. And that's, you know, you can make that argument for what happened with Gordon and Earnhardt. You know, Earnhardt could have pulled aside. He could have let Jeff pick up that win. But again, Jeff knew how to win at Martinsville. He's done it. You know, if Jeff, I'm sure Dale wouldn't have put up too much of a fight if Gordon had gotten to him, but he wasn't going to get there. He didn't get there. That's why he finished second. It's just very unfortunate at what happened at Texas, which was Gordon leading, a late caution comes out, he and Jimmy Johnson stay out, everyone comes in, and Brad Keselowski takes Gordon and Johnson 3 wide into the first turn. Brad cuts Jeff's tire down, he spins, he has to come down pit road, he has to get a tire, he's rightfully upset. And he lets Brad know about how upset he is after the race. But that goes back to my point about one bad finish could really put you in a position where you have to win in order to advance. And when it came to Phoenix, at that point, Jeff Gordon, it was either win or you're eliminated because Harvick was out front, and if Harvick won, that means Gordon was out. And that's what happened. Harvick won, Gordon lost, or Gordon was eliminated, and Harvick went on to win the championship in 2014. So, I can assure you when it comes to Phoenix, not this coming weekend, but the But the following weekend, I can assure you there will be no team orders. Drivers like Kyle Larson and Chase Elliott, if Chase gets there, they're gonna have to win the championship on their own. They can't rely on team orders to get it done. So I assure you, no team orders are going to be coming down from Hendrick if it comes down to Larson and Chase. In fact, I think that's a battle that all NASCAR fans want to see. I think a lot of fans are going to want to see it because this is Kyle Larson who has made his comeback. He unfortunately nearly had his career destroyed by the fact that he uttered a racial slur last year. He continues racing. He dominates. He comes back to NASCAR, and he's having probably the season of his career. I can't think of another season like this for Kyle Larson. And unfortunately, I don't think it's one that is going to be able to be repeated next year, because next year it's going to be all new cars, and Hendrick Motorsports is going to be behind the 8 ball because they were so focused on winning this year's championship that they weren't prepping for the new cars next year. But that's a personal choice, and look, for Hendrick Motorsports, it's already earned them a championship so far with Chase Elliott. Now let's see if it leads to another one with either Kyle Larson or Chase Elliott, if they get that far. Well, if Chase gets that far, because we already know that Larson is going to be there. But here's the thing: if both Larson and Chase get there, that's going to put a battle not only of teammates, but there's a lot of question as to whether or not Kyle Larson or Chase Elliott is the top dog at Hendrick Motorsports. You know, Chase Elliott has been promoted as the future for Hendrick Motorsports. He has worked his way up through the ranks of NASCAR, and he got to drive the number 24, now drives the number 9, which are 2 legendary car numbers right there. And it culminates with him winning a championship. But then you have Kyle Larson, which I was just explaining. He's had 9 wins this season. He's had one of the best seasons of his career, and he's going to get to go run for a championship next week, or on November 7th. So I think this is what NASCAR wants. I think NASCAR wants to see Chase Elliott and Kyle Larson battle it out for the championship. And I think it's one that a lot of fans would be interested in. Because again, what I just mentioned, top dog at Hendrick Motorsports, 2 very talented drivers. One dominated the entire season. One has a few wins here and there, but would I exactly call it dominating? No. But you can't ignore the fact that he had to grind his way to get to where he is right now, in a very comfortable position. You know, I'm gonna have to bang on so much wood here, because right now I'm tempting Chase Elliott. All it takes is one bad crash. But this has not been easy for Chase. I mean, there was a point where people questioned whether he was even gonna make it to the next round. And he proved them wrong, don't get me wrong. But it has not been an easy road for a championship, so...
The second baseman.
I think that's what ultimately NASCAR wants to see. I think that's what fans want to see. Not to diminish what the other guys are doing, but honestly, I think that Larson versus Elliott is what people want. People kind of promote it like they did in 07. You know, in 07, it was really a battle between Jeff Gordon and Jimmy Johnson, two teammates. Mentor versus mentored.
The right fielder.
You know, Jeff was a mentor for Jimmy Johnson, and Jimmy Johnson really has credited his career to Jeff Gordon. But when push came to shove in 07, you know, it was Jimmy Johnson versus Jeff Gordon, who's the top dog at Hendrick Motorsports. I mean, honestly, it was determined before the race got there that in all likelihood Jimmy was going to win the championship unless Jeff ran well and Jimmy Johnson didn't, which is very rare for Jimmy. But that's the way I see it, is top dog versus top dog at Hendrick Motorsports. Who comes out on top? Is it the young blood of Chase Elliott, who's been promised as the future? Or is it Kyle Larson, someone who's had to make a comeback of his career, is now in a position to do that, has had one hell of a season, and here he is. And how many times has Kyle Larson and Chase Elliott finished 1 and 2 this season? It's happened at least 5 times. Most of the time, if not all the time, has been Kyle Larson ending up with the win. So I can bet you that Chase Elliott is not going to want to finish runner-up to Kyle Larson again. But that's the beauty of the championship race in Phoenix. You get one race. Stage points don't matter. All that matters is you finish. If you're a playoff driver, you finish ahead of the 3 other guys in that final race. Doesn't matter if it's the win or not. Just finish ahead of those guys and you win the championship. So that's looking forward to Phoenix. Again, let's get through Martinsville first. We got to determine who else, what 3 other drivers are going to go for the win then. Which 3 drivers are going to join Kyle Larson in the championship round in Phoenix? That's what we got to get to first. God, I feel like I just became like a promoter for NASCAR. Like I'm just like, here's the ultimate battle. Kyle Larson, Chase Elliott, Hendrick Motorsports teammates, rivals at Phoenix. Who will come out on top? Oh, God. All right. Now, on to something a little more familiar to the average sports fan. Football. Specifically, the Jets. Although I definitely want to talk about Penn State too. So I'll talk about them in a second. But Jets, holy crap on a I'm sorry, but this is atrocious. And the worst part is, I didn't even watch the damn game. I knew that the Jets weren't going to beat the Patriots. I had a feeling that wasn't going to happen. And I was not about to put myself through 60 minutes of torture just to see them do that. But holy hell, I did not expect the Patriots to go off offensively on the Jets. That is humiliating. Robert Saleh should be embarrassed. So should LaFleur. They should all be embarrassed. Now, you can argue that the Jets had to deal with injuries, especially with Zach Wilson. You know, he's out for 2 to 4 weeks. But I mean, my God, this team cannot score. It's like there's a force field protecting the end zone from the Jets. They can't score in the first quarter. First half, they have very few touchdowns. Very few. Let's see. Looks like what these are. So we are going to get Billy Wagner up in warming, and we'll also get Mariano Rivera because it will depend on what they throw at me for the third inning. But just back to that, I mean, this is atrocious. Atrocious. It's games like these that make me not want to watch the Jets. And that's probably the highlight of my Sunday, is not watching the Jets. They are bad. With a capital B-A-D. And I think that's the understatement of this team. This is ridiculous. I don't know what else to say about this team other than thank God the Detroit Lions are worse. Because right now the Lions are 0-7. The Jets are 1-6. Or 1-5, I'm sorry. But either way, they only have one win. They are the worst team in the AFC. So you're telling me the Jets are worse than the Colts? The Jets are worse than the Houston Texans?
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention please. Pinch hitting for the Mariners. Number 3.
You're telling me they're even worse than the friggin' Chicago Bears? The Bears! Oh my God. I'm embarrassed. Like, I look to God and I'm like, what did I do in a past life that made you torture me as a Jets fan? Also, why is Shohei Ohtani still in the game?
The bat, the second baseman, Sam Saturday. Your attention, please. Now pitching, Billy Wagner.
So, I really feel bad for Zach Wilson. I'm sure if he had more protection, I'm sure if he had better receivers, I am sure that if he had a more competent coaching staff, he would be a hell of a better quarterback. But he's not. And unfortunately, that hurts him. So to Zach Wilson, I say, I am sorry. I am sorry on behalf of the Jets. I am sorry on behalf of Jet fans that this is what you have to put up with. It's not even your fault. This team is just atrocious. Honestly, Wilson, you would have been better off, and while I don't approve of this, you would have been better off just declaring for your senior year, staying for one more year, finding some kind of excuse. Just the lure of being the second overall pick in the NFL draft. Sometimes the risks outweigh the rewards. And right now, the risks are way more than the rewards right now. There is no rewards. Wilson is getting hurt. He's sacrificing his body. And for what? So that the Jets could lose 52 or 54 to 13 to the friggin' New England Patriots who don't even have Tom Brady anymore? What are we doing? What are we doing as Jet fans? I'll tell you what we're doing. We're suffering. We are a fan base that is suffering. And see, at least being a Mets fan, there's hope. With the Jets, there is no hope. There is none. I don't know if this team will ever win a Super Bowl in my lifetime. I don't know if I'll ever see that. And to me, that's scary as a football fan, that I will die before I even see the Jets win a Super Bowl. I think I will see a Mets World Series. I think I will see the Brooklyn Nets win an NBA championship. I believe that I will see another Devils Stanley Cup in my lifetime before I die. But a Jets Super Bowl? I don't think that's possible. I think I will legitimately die without seeing it. And I am terrified. As a Jets fan, we should, as Jet fans, we should be terrified of that. You can either be terrified or you can be pissed. Actually, you can be both. You can be terrified and you can be pissed. Because if anyone, I think about it as consumer versus, manufacturer. Or think of it as manufacturer to consumer. You would never buy a bad product or a defunct product, correct? As a consumer, you would never do that. You would never buy a toothbrush that has no brush. You wouldn't do it. You would probably tell the store manager that this toothbrush has no brush, and they would send it back to the factory, and they'll fix it and give you a new one. The same thing should be, it should be the same way with the New York Jets. This product is a load of shit. And honestly, that's an insult to shit.
Battle third. The center fielder, number 7, Mickey Mantle.
We as Jet fans should be demanding that the manufacturer, quote unquote, the Johnsons, should be putting out a better product. But they're not. They're not doing it. So the only option is to say, if you're not going to put out a better product, then we're not going to buy your product anymore. No more buying Jets jerseys, no more buying shirts, shorts, any type of clothing apparel, any type of accessories like a helmet or some kind of a souvenir like a foam finger, a bobblehead. No, don't even buy a ticket to any Jets games. If that's what it's ultimately going to take for the Johnsons to say, hey, we actually need to take this seriously because we're losing our fan base, then do it. Let's do it.
And leading up for the Angels,
I have been calling for this since last year. Let's boycott the Jets. Because I truly don't believe that the Johnsons even care about putting out a good product. I don't think they care. I think that they're just going to throw together whatever they can, whatever cheap product they can, and they're going to still make a fortune. Why? Because this is the NFL, and teams are going to make fortunes. Even when they're losers, they make a fortune. And that's not the way it should be. It should be, if your product is good, then we'll buy into it. But if your product is bad, we will reject it, and you will have to go back to the drawing board and determine what kind of product you can sell to the average consumer. The Jets, the Johnsons are just putting out the same crap and putting lipstick on it and calling it something different. It's still the same crap. I mean, my God. What happened? What happened to the days where Chad Pennington and Curtis Martin, Lavernius Cole, Santana Moss, Kevin Mayway, Chris Baker, Kerry Roach, Jonathan Vilma, Sean Ellis, John Abraham. What happened to that team? I can tell you what happened. That team is long gone. That team no longer exists. And I'm not sure it will ever exist again.
leading off for Long Island, the first baseman, he's Alonso.
So, Jet fans, you have a choice. You can either continue to support this shit, or you can actually take a stand and say, I'm not gonna support the Jets anymore. I'm not gonna support them until they put out a product that to me is good. This is not good. This is crap. So, but until every Jets fan does that, this is what we're going to get. Time after time after time. Put lipstick on a pig and call it a horse. It's still a pig. Or call it a woman, whatever. I don't know. Call it a gorilla or something. You could call it any other animal or thing or whatever. But at the end of the day, it's still a pig. No offense to pigs, because comparing the Jets to pigs is actually is an insult to pigs. So, I've been done. I've not watched any Jets games. I listened to. I determined after Atlanta that was enough. The fact that they couldn't beat Atlanta did it in for the season for me, because that was a winnable game. That was a game they should have won, and they didn't. Now, New England, I had no hopes for. But golly, I was hoping for something more. You know, some kind of a, you know, maybe flash to show me that this team could be something. I never got that flash. And I don't think I will ever get that flash. Not against Cincinnati, not against Jacksonville, not against Buffalo or Miami or any other team that the Jets go up against. I think that flash is gone. So, Jet fans, you could do what you want to do, but I can tell you, I'm not supporting them. I'm not going to turn on any Jets games. I'm not going to buy any apparel or any accessories from this team, any collectibles. I will not do it. And I will not do it until they prove to me that they are worthy of my attention.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention please.
Fuck it, I already dug myself in a hole. Might as well just lay in it and try my best to dig myself out.
For the Angels, the first baseman, Jared Walsh.
It's awful. It is awful being a Jets fan. But usually I could put up with it. Why? Because I had so much faith in my Penn State Nittany Lions. I didn't go there to school, but I declared them as my favorite college football team. Now listen, I can understand losing to Iowa. You know, that game was tough. Of course, Iowa was going to hang in there, and I think they honestly made a mistake by not taking chances. I understand you no longer have your quarterback, Clifford. You no longer have Clifford as your QB because he got hurt in the game and couldn't return. But isn't that on the backup QB to say, hey, it's my turn, let me show what I could do? I guess not, because that's not what happened. But that was Iowa. That was Iowa. This week was especially disheartening. Because you actually get Clifford back. And now, you know, I'm expecting Penn State to be like they were against Wisconsin. Beat Illinois, get some momentum, and then get ready for Ohio State the next game. The way that you would look at the game, you would have thought they were playing against the #1 team in the nation. And yet they were just playing Illinois. Illinois that had a 2-5 record. But after Penn State, they improved to 3-5. And unfortunately, the schedule does not get any easier for Penn State, because they still have to go up against Ohio State, they still have to go up against Michigan State, and they also still have to go up against Michigan. Who, oh by the way, they're top 10 in the rankings. You know, a friend of mine on Twitter, he was criticizing James Franklin and saying how he's holding him back. And I responded to him on Twitter saying that James Franklin has done a lot for the program. He's done a lot for Penn State. When Penn State was not even ranked, when people thought that they'd be lucky if they were ever in the rankings again, Penn State upset Ohio State. Ohio State needed that win to stay. I think they ended up. That was 2016, so they ended up winning the national. Oh no! I'm sorry. That was in 2016. The national championship game in 2017, I believe, was won by Clemson. Because Ohio State won it in 2016. Oh, look at that. Zach Britton gives up the game-winning home run, but yet he gets up to Tier 1. I love how we reward bad performances. I love how we do that. Okay? So I don't think my friend was questioning or disregarding what James Franklin had done for the program. I misinterpreted it to be that way. But now I see that what he was putting out was that James Franklin right now has one of the best teams he's had. He's had this team, this type of a team for 4 years. And he has not been able to put them into the top 4. This is a team that has a lot of talent, that if they were to go to the college football playoffs, it would mean the ultimate comeback. Yes, I'm sure they want to win the national championship, but even if they can just get to the college playoffs, I think would solidify Penn State's comeback from the Jerry Sandusky scandal. And yet, that's not what's happening. Franklin is getting close. He's getting on the verge. And yet, he's not. And yet, he's not putting them in position to take advantage. Case in point, against Illinois, against Iowa. Yes, your quarterback goes down, but is this not why you recruited a backup QB? And don't you think that quarterback wants to go out there and prove to the coach that he should be the starter? But James Franklin's logic is, well, we don't have Clifford, so we're not gonna risk it. We're just gonna run the ball. Look, Penn State has always had a program that has been known for its running backs. Silas Red, freaking Saquon Barkley. This team is a running back friendly university. But with that being said, this running offense is not what it used to be. And yet, James Franklin has been insistent on continuing to run the ball. Even when he gets short gains, it's like, let's run it.
And leading up,
3rd and 8, runs it.
the third baseman.
Doesn't pick up a first down. What were you expecting exactly? It's not like you have Saquon Barkley out there anymore. The fact is, Penn State should have won that game. And I don't think that James Franklin has any confidence in Clifford. I don't think he does, because otherwise Clifford would have been throwing it. You have one of the top wide receivers in the country in Dotson, and yet you're not taking advantage. You can argue that other colleges are ganging up on him and not allowing him to get open, but it's not like that happens every single time. Eventually, Dotson does get open, and we know Clifford can get it to Dotson in the end zone because they did that against Illinois. They've done that all year. So why not? Why not let that happen? Why, James Franklin? Why? That's what I'm not understanding here. I understand you don't want to overload your QB. You want to be able to monitor him after he took an injury that sat him out for, you know, in the game against Iowa, but I mean, holy shit. This is babying him. This is an overprotective parent that's not letting their child go out there and explore the world. James, let Clifford go. Let him, this is his senior year. This is his final chance to show if he has anything as a QB. I mean, he's likely not heading towards the NFL. I mean, he might declare, but I don't know if a team's going to pick him. I mean, we'll see what happens, but I mean, my God. My God, let him go out there. Let him leave his mark here on Penn State. Stop babying him. Stop. This is what the Jets are doing to Zach Wilson right now. Which is probably why I'm ranting about this as much as I'm ranting about the Jets. You know, LaFleur said, oh, we just wanted to run the football so we can ease Zach Wilson into the game. God damn it. This is your second overall pick in the draft. And you're not letting him do what he wants to do? What did you pick him for? If your logic was we're not gonna let him throw it because he throws too many interceptions. So let him figure that out. He's a rookie. What, you think that Zach Wilson will throw an interception and be like, you know what, that was just a fluke. I'll just go to the next one. No, Zach Wilson's smart. He'll figure out, okay, well, that play didn't work, but what if I do this instead? We know what kind of an arm Zach Wilson has. We know. He has shown it not only in college, but in the NFL. We know. Let him let it fly. At this point, what do you have to lose? What do you have to lose? If he's out for the rest of the season, fine. At least you let him learn. Just like with Penn State. At this point, they're not in the running for the national championship. And anyone who thinks they are is foolish. I don't care if they beat Michigan State, if they beat Michigan, and they beat Ohio State. There's no way that they could possibly make it into the college football playoffs. At this point, you're just playing for a bowl game. And you're hoping that your team keeps you in the rankings, in the top 25 rankings. But by God, James Franklin, just let Clifford throw. Let him throw. Let him get it to Dotson. Let him get it to his other wide receivers. Stop with the short throws. Stop with the running plays because the running plays are not working. Just stop. Stop, please, and give Penn State fans something to cheer about for this season. Because at this point, there is no national championship. There's not even a college football playoffs for Penn State. Look at that bowl game. Unless they don't win the rest of their games. If they lose all their games, they're not getting a bowl bid.
The right fielder, Dexter Fowler.
And I know I sound like an armchair coach right now, but I'm being dead ass serious. This is atrocious. Penn State should have never have lost to Illinois. And now seeing what my friend was tweeting about, I agree with him. I agree. James Franklin is holding Clifford back. And he needs to stop doing that. At this point, what do you have to lose? You're going up against Michigan State, you're going up against Michigan, and you're going up against Ohio State. If you lose all three, if you lose all three, then you win the last one and you barely get a bowl game. But the very best, upset one of those, if not multiple, and if you can, all three of them. You won't get to the college football playoffs, but you'll have a hell of a higher ranking and you'll play in a more prestigious bowl. But at the very least, just get one win against those teams. One. Just one. That's all I ask. One win. But you have to stop babying Clifford. Let him throw it. Let Doxson go down the field. Let him get in a position to score. And let's see what Penn State can do. But right now, what I see, they can't do much. And it will continue that way unless James Franklin finally lets Clifford loose. Let the lion out of the cage, no pun intended, and let him go after it. Give the fans something to at least be excited about. If you're not going to give us a national championship or a college football playoffs appearance, if you're not going to do that, then at least have the goddamn courtesy to give us something to cheer about. That's all I ask.
Your attention, please. Pinch hitting for the
Wow.
number 24. Kurt.
Too much ranting. Jesus Christ. I think I just about damn near covered everything. Brooklyn Nets. Yeah, they stink. They stink right now. I don't know what it is, honestly. I wish I could tell you. I don't believe it's Kyrie. I don't believe it's him. Because there's no way that Kyrie could make this much of a difference. This is James Harden and Kevin Durant that we're talking about here. And yet they couldn't beat the freaking Charlotte Hornets. Even though Kevin Durant scored 20 in the first quarter. But all this is just adding fuel to the fire that maybe the Nets should cave to Kyrie, make an exception. But it's not really the Nets' decision to do that. That's not their decision. This is New York City's decision. They're the ones that implemented the mask mandate. And I don't think Bill de Blasio is going to be pressured by the Brooklyn Nets losing to lift the mask or the vaccine mandate. I don't think he will. I doubt he will, actually. I doubt he will. Honestly, I don't even know if I want him to. But I'm not a New York City resident, so it's not really on my part to talk about New York City politics. That's for the voters of New York City and the City Hall to work out. That's on them. But that was, I will say that protest that was outside Barclays Center, look, I understand that, you know, if you want to stand out there and you want to protest peacefully, fine, do that. I have no problem with that. What I do have a problem is at some point the protesters decided that they were going to ignore all rules and they were going to try to enter Barclays Center. And the security worked like hell to keep them out. And to them, I say thank you. Thank you for doing your jobs. Thank you for, you know, protecting other people. You know, if these people want to get into the Brooklyn Nets game so badly, buy a damn ticket and wear a mask. Because I doubt you're getting into... Actually, I thought at sporting events in New York City, they separated the sections. So people who are vaccinated end up on one side of the arena, and then those that are unvaccinated, they end up on the other side. But those protesters trying to enter Barclays Center when clearly they were not, they shouldn't have, and they weren't supposed to, that's where the problems arose. At that point, if you're trying to force yourselves into the arena, to me, that's not where it becomes, it's no longer peaceful at that point. You go to every Nets game unvaccinated, no mask, no ticket, you're just a baller. You got that Kyrie connection. What's up, Legendarian? How are you? I feel like you're just doing this just to be contrarian to me. Which is fine, it's people's choice. I'm not saying, you know, those people, they need to get vaccinated.
The center fielder, number 7,
Devin Corrant. And I'm Haynes Jordan. No, I'm sorry. I'm actually Ho Jarris. I don't know, man. I really don't understand, like... I'm not understanding, man. What's the problem?
Alonso.
You know, I understand if people have a medical reason. I mean, my sister's colleague didn't get vaccinated because she had an allergic reaction to one of the vaccines, the first dose. And I understand that. That's a perfectly good reason to not get the vaccine. You had an allergic reaction to it. Fine. I'm not going to knock on you because your body decided it was going to reject the vaccine. But what I'm just having a hard time understanding. Alright, man. Eating wings. Bone or boneless? Actually, a better question. What type of wings? Spicy? Barbecue? Honey? What kind of wings you got? Both. Alright. Are wings really wings if they're boneless? I think some people... Honey barbecue and Asian zing. Okay, I've had a honey barbecue. Those are delicious. Asian zing, I'm assuming that's a spicy type of wings. Kind of like that chili, sweet and spicy. Ah, interesting combo. Okay. I mean, I'm sure it has a little more kick to it than it is sweet, so... But it sounds delicious. The boneless part. I'm not a boned guy. I will not eat boned wings. I'll eat boneless wings, but not boned. I just don't like the idea of my teeth hitting the bone of that wing. You know, I don't like it. Yeah. I think you and I are in a minority.
The first baseman.
Although me more so, because I only prefer boneless. But you preferring both, that's a rarity in itself. Especially if you prefer boneless over bone. But hey, everyone to their own taste, right? Yeah, just prefer food. I think we can all agree on that. That we all prefer food. Alright, man, thanks for lurking and thanks for stopping in. I appreciate it. But seriously, guys, I really do want to understand why it is that some people just find it too difficult to get the vaccine. I mean, all I can really do is just tell my experience, which was I went to the vaccine, it maybe took a half hour, or I went to the vaccine center, took me a half hour, and I other than pain shooting down my arm for a few days, I didn't really have any other bad experience with it. I don't know. I really do want people to explain it to me because I want to understand. I don't want to criticize it and not know why. So if someone could explain it to me, I'll be more than happy to, to listen. But someone's got to explain it to me because right now I don't understand. I really don't. You did miss my sports rants earlier, Legendarian. Sorry you missed it because I was going off on on a lot of different subjects. I was going off. First, I started out with baseball. I was talking about the World Series and basically preferring the Houston Astros over the Atlanta Braves. because I'm not about to root for a divisional opponent of the New York Mets. I just won't do it.
Now batting, the second baseman, Adam.
You know, so I'm rooting for the Astros from here on out. And then I went into the NASCAR, or I'm sorry, explaining why I hadn't been streaming the last last week, the last couple days last week, Thursday and Friday. I just, I was bored of MLB The Show. They weren't giving me new content, and I didn't feel like streaming the same old crap. And I'm certainly not going to be streaming online unless there's a Mets player that I need to grind for. And at this point, I have Billy Wagner, so there's no reason for me to grind ranked seasons. And there hasn't been a player in Battle Royales for the Mets since Matt Harvey. And there hasn't been a player in the event for the Mets since John Alrud. So I don't view going for the events or for Battle Royale right now as a must do. I am more than content to just sit here and play Conquest mode. Because I think that's what a lot of people play, and I think that's what a lot of people want to see. Yes, they want to see some online content as well, but for the most part, I think people are just like me. They want to play offline. They don't want too much of a challenge. They want to be able to have fun with the game. Anyway, I'm getting off track here. And then I talked about NASCAR Ignition 20 or NASCAR 21 Ignition, which is the game that I'll be streaming tomorrow because it's launching tonight. But I am not doing a midnight stream because I am going to be working tomorrow, so I cannot do a midnight stream. So, as unfortunate as that is, I have to prioritize work over streaming. So I will stream it tomorrow. And then I talked about the NASCAR season coming to a close. We only have 2 races left. Usually this is the most exciting yet saddest time of year for me because it's basically gonna be weeks without NASCAR and nothing's gonna be able to distract me from my Jets, which is what I talked about next with their horrible loss against the New England Patriots. Pretty much inexcusable that they allowed 50 points against them for no reason other than they couldn't stop the Patriots. And then I went on a very similar rant for Penn State, saying that they should have beaten Illinois. They didn't, and this is probably a worse loss than Iowa was, or that loss against Iowa was. It's inexcusable. Plain and simple. And James Franklin he's a good coach, but I don't think he should be, I don't think he's the coach that's going to lead Penn State to a college football playoff appearance. He's a great coach. He's done a lot for this program, especially in one of its darkest times, but he cannot get them to the next step. And maybe it's time for Penn State to move on. and consider a different coach. I don't know who, but maybe they need to look elsewhere. I don't know. And then Brooklyn is just losing right now. They couldn't even beat the Charlotte Hornets, for crying out loud. Despite Durant's, 20 points in the first quarter, they couldn't beat Charlotte. That's a problem. Especially if this is a team that a lot of people are saying is going to be in the NBA Finals, because I can tell you right now that the Lakers are going to absolutely devour the Brooklyn Nets. So that's basically all my sports talking points. I think I did a pretty good job of touching on all of them. Excuse me. And I have no water to be able to clear my throat. Or, moisturize it now that it's dry from talking so much.
Number 16.
But that's what I enjoy doing. I enjoy talking about sports. I enjoy ranting on my favorite teams because that's just me. That's the fan I am. Am I a cynical fan? Yes, but I'm a very passionate fan. I'm a fan that wants to see his teams do well. I'm a fan that is willing to pay money if my teams can just get to the postseason. But so far, the Jets haven't done it. The Mets have yet to do it since 2015 or 2016, rather. The Devils haven't done it since 2012. And the Brooklyn Nets finally, I thought they were fine as a playoff team. I wasn't expecting them to do much with Sean Marks and D'Angelo Russell, but you know what? Sometimes that's all you need. Is just be decent, and then you can worry about, what's in the postseason. I mean, you certainly wouldn't have had to worry about LeBron James, because he was going to LA, to the Lakers. So that's one less NBA superstar you would have had to worry about in the Eastern Conference Finals. So, I don't know. I just... You can tell I'm a fan of loser teams. I mean, you can just tell that that's the type of fan I am. And I'm fine with it. I'm fine with it because I feel like that when they do eventually become good and they do eventually win, it's going to be something special. It's going to be something that, I'll be able to talk excitedly about to my grandkids one day. Like, I can say, I was there. I saw when the Brooklyn Nets finally lifted their first NBA championship. I was there when the Jets finally broke the 50-year, 60-year curse and won a Super Bowl. Or I was there when the Mets finally broke the 86 curse and finally, after 3 decades, won a World Series. But right now, I can't say that about those teams. How does Oakland not steal my fans there? Or not... Like, they could have attacked that territory. And then I wouldn't be on the offensive right now. This game sometimes, I swear, it confuses me. Okay, I would really like to stop losing fans. Thank you. Uh-oh. Oh, shit. LA may be trying to take this stronghold. If they do that, I might have to take it back. Oh, they're not taking it. Okay, I don't see them as much of a problem right now. So I'm just gonna worry about the Oakland A's, and then I'll go to this side of the map, the west side, which is odd. Actually, it's not that odd. It's not that odd. Anyway, let's do this. Let's get the Oakland A's, and then let's get as far as we can with the map. Oh, Trevor Story. Yeah, I have no regrets about playing this card back in my lineup. This card is just freaking fantastic. That Trevor Story card. I think it should count for the NL West flashbacks, total bases, plate appearances, and all that. It should. I don't know if it is or isn't, because I really haven't checked my progress since I started doing the Conquest map. I'm really not focused on it. I figure that if I'm gonna eventually get there, then I'll get there.
Leading off for the A's, the center fielder, Starling Marte.
All right, come on, Shohei. Fortunately, you picked up your second loss. Let's try not to do that here.
The second baseman, Josh Harrison.
And if worst comes to worst, I won't be able to pick this up tomorrow. That's the thing. I can't pick this up tomorrow. Because I'm going to be streaming NASCAR 21 Ignition. So, this will likely have to be put on the back burner until Wednesday. And if I have to finish up the map then I'll finish it up. I still got to do more than just the map. Like, I have to do the I still got to get the plate appearances and everything with the Legend Flashback or Flashback Legends, the total bases, do those missions. Oh, let's see what JTAG's up to. Is he live now? Is JTag live now? Ah, he is. Okay, cool. Cool.
The pitcher, number 17.
Sorry guys, I'm just looking to see if my buddy is streaming as well, JTag. Go check him out. If you want real, like, online talent for MLB The Show 21, JTag is your guy. Like, he is so incredible with how he does the online events and ranked seasons and everything. Like, he is insanely good. So, when you guys have a chance, go check him out. JTag. J_tag. Because I don't know why he got rid of the dash in between J and tag, but whatever, that's his thing. That's not mine. Ugh, sorry. I'm just trying to stretch out my legs. God.
The batter, the second baseman, Adam.
Attaboy Frazier. Alright, come on, man. Let's get some additional insurance friends here. Yeah, I'm gonna send them. Frazier can make it. I mean, I did have to slide to the left, but I got him. And Tyler O'Neill is just gonna go deep yet again. That's what she said.
Now batting, the first baseman, Pete Alonso.
Oh, one more thing I forgot to mention. So, it is a very crazy work schedule for me this week. I am doing overnights on Thursday and Friday of this week, which means that Thursday and Friday I will not be streaming. So if you guys saw my tweet earlier and you saw me saying it won't be, returning from my long hiatus, which won't be the last, well, this is what I was referring to. Basically, I'm gonna be working on the overnights and I will not be streaming on Thursday and Friday. Most unfortunate, but that is my work schedule. There's nothing I can do about it. And that's what I'm ultimately gonna do. So I do apologize, guys, if you were looking forward to streams later this week. If you were looking forward to, seeing me yet again on Thursday and Friday, but it's not gonna happen. And unfortunately, that means 2 streams this week are going to be about MLB The Show 21. And the other one will be NASCAR 21 Ignition. That's what my plan is, and I'm sticking to it. And no, I will not stream on Saturday, because by the time that I even wake up from this whole doing the overnight streams, It's probably going to be late afternoon, early evening, and at that point, I don't want to stream. Not to mention Sunday, I have to work too. So this is going to be fun. No, look, guys. In all seriousness, I do like working. You know, and I agreed to these shifts in advance. I would have been upset if they had done this and not notified me, or done this on short notice, but either way, because they asked me in advance, I have no problem doing these shifts. I actually like earning the extra money. I mean, ultimately, the more money I can earn, the better off I'll be, right? I just paid off my biggest student loan this year. I just paid it off. Which means I only have really one more if I'm discounting my federal loans and everything, but I only have one more private loan to take care of. And once I take care of that, I'm basically free. Well, no, I still have my federal loans to worry about, but we're going to see what's happening with Washington and whether they're going to move forward with forgiving student loan debt, because I know that's something they want to do, or at least the Democrats want to do that. So we'll see what happens with that. I know they can't forgive my private loans because they're private. Doesn't matter.
Now back, second baseman, Adam.
So, and for, you know, people that that are trying to pay off their student loans, I mean, unfortunately, if you just got out of college, or if you got out of college last year was just very bad timing, and I really feel bad for those that graduated in 2020, because it was this idea that the future was theirs for the taking, and then COVID hit, and it's like, nah, we're all going to be in lockdown. You're not going to be able to work. If you're going to be able to work, you're going to work remotely, so you're working from home. And even now, they say the job market, there's a ton of jobs, not a lot of people. Which is funny, because in my industry, it seems like we have a lot of people, but it doesn't seem like we have enough jobs. Although work, oh boy, this year, oh my gosh, we lost 2 people. The company that I worked for, we lost 2 people, and that forced, or people in my position, and that forced people like me, like my fellow co-workers, to pick up the slack. And we were asked to do a lot. I mean, some of us more than others. And God bless this person that I'm specifically talking about, because they were asked to do a hell of a lot, and God bless them. God bless them. I will not name this person specifically, but just, I think they would know who I'm talking about. And I've said this to them. I said, you know, God bless you for doing all this, you know, because if they're not doing it, it's one of us that's doing it. And you know, thank God for them. So But finally, we hired some more people in my position, which means hopefully this will be over and done with. But if I have, honestly, guys, if I have any advice for people that are just starting out in their positions, in their fields, they're freelance or whatever, let me tell you something. The biggest thing that I carried with me as a freelancer, because I was a freelancer at one point, the biggest thing that I carried with me was that no was not even in my vocabulary. Like, that might as well have been the ultimate curse word. Like, the word that would punish me straight to hell if I had even so much as thought about uttering it. So, to me, as a freelancer, no was never in my vocabulary. I took every single shift that they offered me. Did it suck? Yes, because it was Saturday overnight, so that meant any social life that I could potentially have was out the door. Which, let's be honest, not really much of a social life. I don't go out to bars every weekend. I don't hang out with people. I just find it comforting to just stay home and relax. But that's just me personally. So, but if that's what you have to do in order to get in a position where you can become full-time, then as a freelancer, you do it. But just make it clear, because this is the one mistake that I made, which is ultimately why I didn't become full-time sooner. You know, I fell into this thought process that if I just kept accepting positions, they'll say, hey, Jeffrey's a good worker. Maybe if we have an opening position for him full-time, maybe he'll accept it. It didn't. You are in charge of your own destiny. It's as simple as that. You're the one that can say to your managers or whoever your higher-ups are, you can say to them, hey, I've been doing freelance for a long time. I really am interested in becoming a full-time person. But you have to take the initiative. Because some companies, they won't. They'll be more than content to keep you freelance if you keep accepting shifts. So do it and show that you're a good worker and you're willing to work hard for them, but at the same time make it known to them that you have ambitions and you want to fulfill them. That is okay. That is being human. We're not satisfied with just being in one place for the rest of our lives. We want more. That's part of that's part of being a human. So, I mean, I'm not saying that after a week of freelance you should be like, well, I'm interested in becoming full-time. I would say give it half a year. Give it like 6 months, or until a position opens up, and then you can say to your bosses, hey, I'm interested in becoming full-time. That way, even if they don't have a position available for you at the time, at least they know. And honestly, I think it really does show initiative. Because, and not only that, but you're showing that you really want to work for the company. So ultimately, my tips, if you're a freelancer or part-time or whatever, no, it's not even a word in your vocabulary, but at some point let your managers or higher-ups or whoever know that you're interested in becoming a full-time employee. If that's what you want to do. If you decide that you don't want to work at that company anymore, don't stick around if you don't feel like it's good for you. Let me tell you something, guys. Okay, loyalty is a great thing. It's something that a lot of companies value in a worker. It really is something valuable. I think any company that finds an employee who's a good worker and loyal, I think you have a diamond in the rough, and they are the type of people that you grow and you groom for higher positions. But with that being said, keep in mind what I said about companies being more than happy to keeping you as freelance if they know that you're willing to take every shift. Okay? At the end of the day, the company's going to do whatever it can to make the most profit it can. And if that means keeping you as a freelancer, and that's not what you want to do, and they say, well, and they keep telling you they don't have a position for you, at that point, you start looking. You start looking, and you see what's out there, and if you get a few offers, you know, I mean, I personally wouldn't do this, but some people, you know, you can take that and say, hey, I got an offer from this place that's off, that they're giving me more than what I'm making here, but I am interested in being here, so what can you do for me? You know, negotiate. You're like, okay, I've got this offer, but I'm willing to stick around or hear what you guys have to say. If they're like, we're not really going to negotiate, then take that offer. It's good to be loyal, but at some point you have to be loyal to yourself. You can be loyal to a company, but you have to be loyal to yourself. Do what's in the best interest of you, not what's in the best interest of a company. Because let's be honest, an entry-level position, a company can easily fill the next day. As sad as that is, it's the truth. So if you are a freelancer, as great of loyalty as it is, or as great of a quality loyalty is, do not let it be taken for granted. Don't. Because I can tell you, you are going to be very unhappy.
Your attention, please. Now pitching, Gregory Soto.
Alright? You can be loyal to a company, but make sure that the first person that you are loyal to is you. You don't have to be selfish, but you gotta do what's in your best interest.
Batting fifth, the catcher.
Whatever that may be. I don't know what that is. But whatever it is, make sure that you do it. Because otherwise you're going to be unhappy. You're going to be stuck in your position. You're not going to grow. And you're going to miss out on valuable years. Like, that's the thing, guys.
The shortstop.
I knew a coworker of mine who was in his position for 10 years. Now, they say that that was for other reasons, and honestly, I buy that. I believe that there were other reasons. But I made it known to my managers. I said, I do not want to be in my position for 10 years. I want to move up.
Batting seventh, the third baseman, Justin Turner.
So you have to make that clear to them. And if they can't move you up, find someone who can. Whatever that may be. You want to be the main accountant for a company, but yet you're stuck doing the bills for for another company that refuses to promote you to main accountant, just as an example, then go to the company that's going to hire you as their main accountant. Just as an example, but my point remains. Do what's in the best interest of you. Have loyalty, because I think it's a good quality in a worker, but do not be loyal to the point it blinds you and keeps you from doing what it is that you want to do. That's my message. So I hope that you take this, everything that I've talked about in this stream, and I've talked about a lot, take what I'm saying right now and put it in your pocket. This is ultimately what I want you to take away from this stream. Alright? So, enough of that. Enough of talking about work and everything, because I'm done talking about it. Nice, Tyler on the out. Hell yeah. Let's get back to streaming. Something that I enjoy doing. Or that's something that I also enjoy doing, I should say. But I do not enjoy a double play. Especially when my team is so close to... I mean, we have a lead. We have a 3-0 lead, so it's not exactly like it's going to be a bar burner that every pitch has to be perfect in order for me to get this win. But I'm never going to take a lead I'm never going to take a lead for advantage if I know it can easily be wiped out with one swing of the bat. Or in this case, a couple swings of the bat. Strike 3, sit down. Let's go, let's beat these Dodgers. Let's beat the Atlanta Braves here.
AJ Holland.
Once again, I just needed to see what the pitch was. Couldn't see what it was. Strike 3, sit down. GG's Dodgers, thank you so much for your struggle. Your contributions are ever appreciated. Alright, I know that I can at least do one more stronghold. My dog is going crazy outside for some damn reason. It's alright, it's okay. Let's just keep going. We got this. Get as close as we can to the Rangers, and then we'll skip to the next turn, unless I have enough fans here to be able to justify an attack, which in all likelihood it doesn't look like that's the case. Yep, okay. I think that's where I'll stop. Now, unfortunately, I'm going to have to do a little bit of trickery here. I might have just screwed myself. Oh, no. Let's see. Oh, that's even worse. That is not what I wanted to see happen. Shit! Alright, well, the good news is that we have a straight line to the Rangers' stronghold. The bad news is I have to play on All-Star because if I don't play this, then I'm not going to be able to attack next time. Hey, excuse me. Hey, I actually went a good while without yawning. Holy crap! Trevor Story beat that out? Holy shit! My God, I was not expecting that. Thank you, Trevor Story, for having 89 speed. Okay, that'll be good enough. That should get me to score. It was rather close. I can't even believe that was online. That should not have been online. Should not have. Oh, Tyler O'Neill. Holy shit. See, now this is the Tyler O'Neill that I was looking for when I played online. Where was he then? Then again, I was playing against stiff competition, probably on All-Star. So, this is not exactly stiff competition. This is... Sorry, the Texas Rangers. Which, no offense to Ranger fans, but they stink. Alright, come on, let's get one more, let's extend our lead even further. And of course, now that I say that I go an entire stream without yawning, now I'm yawning non-stop. Yeah, that's a home run. Let's go, helping out your own cause, Otani. I like it. Excuse me.
The shortstop, Trevor Story. Leading up for the Rangers, the shortstop, Isaiah Kiner Falefa.
All right.
Batting second, the second baseman. So loud.
Let's go, Otani. I wonder how close I am on Otani's parallel. Because at some point I'm gonna have to, I'm gonna have to put someone else there.
Number 53.
Because I'm not changing out Oswald.
I got the count 0 and 2.
Strike three, sit down.
Leading up for Long Island, the second baseman, Adam Frazier.
I'd be surprised if that's gone. Holy shit! What? Wow.
Number 7, Mickey Mantle.
Okay, wow. That was interesting. And another home run, this time by Mickey Mantle. So back-to-back jacks.
Now back, the left fielder, Tyler O'Neill.
And don't mind if you guys hear the thunder there. That's it's not even raining, so I guess this is a thunderstorm, but it's supposed to be getting cooler weather, wet weather, if I'm not mistaken. I hope the people out west,
The catcher, JT,
particularly in California and Oregon, Washington, wherever they're getting this wet slash snow, this rain slash snow that they're getting. Hope you guys are staying safe, because we're coming up on snow season very soon. We're going to be getting snowfall here. I'm sure of it. Which is one of the perks of working remotely. You don't have to worry about a snow day. You don't have to worry about going out there and worrying about getting in a wreck or an accident or whatever. Sorry, that was just swatting away at a mosquito. That's another good thing about colder weather. You don't have to worry about the mosquitoes. By God, there's one that's bugging the living hell out of me. Anyway, but yeah, guys, please stay safe during this winter. I mean, we might get snow. So please just stay safe. If you don't have to go out, don't go out. You know, I know we're all eager to get out there and enjoy life and everything, but it's not worth it if we're putting ourselves at risk of being hurt in an accident or, you know, suffering from hypothermia or whatever. It's not worth it. Stay inside, stay warm, and stay safe.
Nope, that's a ball.
It really surprises me that we're coming up on the end of the year here. I mean, we're in October. It's crazy. Honestly, it just didn't seem like this year was going to end. So it's good that it's ending and we can flip to 2022 very soon. That home run doesn't really bother me. Really not worried about it. Yikes! Watch out, Pete. Apparently, the bat can glitch through the player. So hands up if you knew that. So I would think that if this game were honest, that bat wouldn't have gone through Pete Alonso like that. Nate Channing base hit. Now, we'll keep Otani in there, but I will get someone up and warming, just in case.
The pitcher,
Because ultimately, I do want Otani to finish this out. Means more parallel XP for him. That's going to be caught. Yep. Didn't even doubt it. It's fine. We have an 8-run lead to work with, so... As long as that's good, or as long as we have an 8-run lead, I think we'll be fine. Attaboy Story.
Now back, second baseman, Adam.
Sorry, I thought a mosquito bit me, but it didn't. I don't know, I just got a weird feeling on my arm. Oh, is it raining now? Holy shit, it's raining now. Okay. It's raining now! Not in the game, like outside my house right now. Yikes! Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna finish out the strongholds tonight. I think this will be my last one. Sorry, I thought I would complete the Conquest map tonight, but that'll just be saved for Wednesday. Unless I get bored with NASCAR Race Ignition and I decide I want to go stream MLB The Show.
Your attention, please.
21.
Hitting for the Rangers, number 23.
But I highly doubt it because, after all, I'm just getting my first impressions of NASCAR 21 Ignition. So I gotta take a look at everything: the paint booth, the career mode, the online, race now, whatever. I gotta look at it all.
The batter, number 9, shortstop, Isaiah.
And eventually I'll get that YouTubers life thing going, but if I don't know, if anything, it might be more of like a series that I record and edit and do all that stuff as opposed to a series that I live stream. Alright, that's game. Gosh, that took a while. I'll just take these territories real quick because they're one territories. It's like they're easy to take. I mean, you know, it's all luck on the draw, but I mean they're a lot easier than 2. All right, I think the way I'll end this off is I'll just open up these packs here because these are whatever. Really doesn't matter. I'll just take whatever and quick sell it. Alright, next up the Space 3 pack. Alright, we're definitely going with Joey Votto. Cincinnati, it really doesn't matter. Alright, I'll keep Votto for now. But I have a much better version of him, so I don't even know why I went with him. Alright, 13 show packs. Holy shit. I'm just going to speed through this. You know, if I get any diamonds, I'll obviously flip them. But ultimately, I do want to wrap this up. So, pack opening. Oh god, it's starting to rain harder. That's not good. Come on, let's see if we got any diamonds. I'm only interested in the diamonds. I really don't care for anything else. And there's the thunder. Okay, Luke Voigt. Also, I gotta be mindful if my AC starts leaking. Please do not start leaking. Alright, 3 show packs to go. Come on, there's gotta be something. My show pack and I get nothing. Alright, I wasn't really expecting to get anything. Unfortunately, show packs are not exactly known for their diamond pulls, but maybe we could get something in the Ball in His Abbott packs or the headliner packs. So far, nothing. Still nothing. But I am getting a lot of golds that I can sell. Ultimately, get back up over 1 million stubs. Oh dear. Let's start wrapping this up soon. No, I don't want to quick sell that. Alright, come on. Down to 2 bonus habit packs. CJ Cone. Oh! There's going to be a big... Yep, because I saw that lightning and I knew it was going to be big. Oh, there we go. We got a diamond. Let's see who it is. Who's it? Player. Oh, Christ. Alright. We got Brendan Crawford. Okay, I don't know what I just breathed in, but ugh. Ugh. Oh, gross. I just breathed in a bug. Ew. Oh God, thank God I didn't swallow that. Yuck. Ugh. Okay, I'll quick sell this because I really don't care. Oh wait. I hope there weren't any more bugs that I swallowed, because that would be even more disgusting. Oh, we got a diamond something. Ooh, Pirates alternative jerseys. I could actually use those, because I need those for the collections. Alright, can we get Carlos Santana? No, we cannot. Said we're going to get glove. Alright guys, that's going to do it for me. So thank you to everyone who tuned in. Even if it was only for a moment, I greatly appreciate it. If you haven't done so already, please be sure to follow me here on Twitch and or subscribe. Either one would make me a very happy person. If you're watching this on YouTube, thank you so much for sticking around till the end. I hope that you subscribe to my channel and turn on notifications. That way you know when I post my videos. Like I'll be posting this one as the thunder rumbles over me. And if you want to know when I go live, you could also turn on you can follow me on Twitter at JeffreyWarner3. The link is in the About page that's underneath the stream here, so go check me out. Always tweet whenever I go live, or I'll be very cynical. I'll be very cynical about my New York sports team, so either way, I'm sure you'll get a hoot. Or you could just turn on notifications here on Twitch. That way Twitch sends you an email every time I start up a stream. Overall, I'm pretty happy with the progress that we made. I really wish I could have captured all the strongholds before the end of the stream today, but obviously that wasn't happening. So, I'm gonna... tomorrow, just a reminder, it's NASCAR 21 Ignition. I'm going to be streaming that. It's going to be first impressions, and we're going to figure out just what this game is all about. So I hope you'll tune in tomorrow, 6 p.m. Eastern. Until then, have a great night, and stay dry if you're in my area, if you're in New Jersey, because this storm looks pretty bad. So, bye guys.